Today I will start topic number 5, that is substation. So before starting topic we should define a substation. Substation is defined as set of equipments along with main converting equipment operate in sequence to transform electrical parameters from one circuit to another circuit with adequate protection and desired changes. This is the definition of substation. Just read it properly. Now classification of substation. Second article in this is classification of substation. Classification of substation is done on the basis of two major factors. Classification of substation. Classification of substation, it is on the basis of two major factors. It is on the basis of construction, and second is on the basis of application. On basis of construction there are two types: indoor substation and outdoor substation. Then foundation mounted substation, and fourth is pole mounted substation. According to application, substation are classified: transmission substation, second is distribution substation, third is power factor improvement substation, then traction substation, then frequency changing substation, and then last is booster substation. These are the types of substation classification. You can read all classification based on the basis of construction: indoor substation, outdoor substation, foundation mounted substation, and pole mounted substation. And second is on the basis of application. There are transmission substation, distribution substation, power factor improvement substation, traction substation, frequency changing substation, and booster substation. So now today the most of the part is theoretical. So whatever I will speak regarding substation, you have to note it down, or this will be simple to note. The substation which are basically constructed for industries with covered area and compound walls, they are called as indoor substation. The indoor substation, they are having mainly 33 by 11 kV substation with maximum transformer capacity of up to 10 MVA. 5 to 10 MVA is the capacity of transformer for indoor substation. Outdoor substation are basically part of transmission and distribution system, and they are operated on 33 by 11 kV, operated by 132 by 33 kV, operated by 22 by 132 kV, and 400 by 220 kV. These are the outdoor substations. Transformer capacity in these substations varies from 15 MVA to 500 MVA depending upon the design and requirement of the load. Then foundation mounted substation, according to construction, when transformer and all protective equipment like isolator, circuit breaker, lightning arrestor, potential transformer, current transformer, they are all mounted on the foundation of concrete or brick foundation, then it is called foundation mounted substation. Pole mounted substation, they are normally installed for 11 by 0.4 kV and 33 by 0.4 kV up to 500 kVA transformer capacity, and these are the secondary distribution system. They are part of secondary distribution system, and mostly whatever type of estimate we will prepare, this is only for pole mounted substation. So this is according to construction, the classification of substation into 4 categories: indoor, outdoor, foundation mounted and pole mounted. Foundation mounted substation normally installed near the bank of river. If suppose site is such that there is a river passing through nearby the site, then concrete foundations are more stable as compared to any other foundation. So we take foundation mounted substation mostly on the bank of river if site situation is like that. Now come to on the basis of application, transmission substation. This I have discussed just now. They are outdoor type substation. Their voltage range is 132 by 33 kV, 222 kV by 132 kV, and 400 kV by 220 kV. These are the major substation of transmission substation which are in operation. Other voltages are also nowadays experimentally they are started in our country, in which 1050 kV by 500 kV, or there is one converter substation is also there, which is after booster substation you can take converter substation. So range of transmission substation varies from 132 kV to 1050 kV, or whatever in future, whatever voltage will come, they will all come under transmission substation. Then distribution substation, as I have told you, there is a primary distribution and secondary distribution. So primary distribution substation are those which are 33 by 11 kV up to transformer rating of up to 10 MVA, 12 MVA capacity, and they are 33 by 11. Similarly, in distribution, secondary distribution substations are there. They are 33 by 0.4 kV or 11 by 0.4 kV up to maximum 500 kVA capacity of the transformer. So they may be foundation mounted for multi-storied building, and they are pole mounted for distribution in the colony area or residential area. Then power factor improvement substation. These substations are generally installed in the area where power factor is very poor. So there are two type of power factor improvement substation. One use up to 33 kV. They are used with static capacitors to compensate the power factor with the help of KVR compensation. And second is on 220 kV or 400 kV, when large area to be covered, their inductive load is very large. So they are using synchronous motor which are operating on leading power factor with over excitation. So over excited synchronous motor running at leading power factor, that will be a part of the extra high voltage power factor improvement substation. So that will improve the power factor by feeding negative KVR in the system. So these are the pole power factor improvement substation. Traction substation, they are used for supplying traction, electric traction supply, and these substation are tapped from 132 kV lines or 132 kV substation, and it is stepped down to 25 kV because 25 kV is the operating voltage of traction. So 132 kV by 25 kV, they are normally having two outgoing feeders, means on the transformer input is 132 kV and the output will be given from the one transformer, two phase. One phase is main phase and another phase is standby phase. Suppose one phase there is a fault, so load will be transferred to second phase. So train will be not obstructed anywhere in the running. So they are traction substation. Their secondary voltage is 25 kV and primary voltage is 132 kV. So this is the pole mount, this traction substation. Their construction are similar to the transmission substation, and they are constructed after every 32 kilometers distance along the track. In every 32 kilometer distance, there is a one traction substation is to be constructed to maintain the proper voltage on the catenary wire of the train. Okay, so there is no problem of voltage fluctuation, so the train speed can be maintained according to input voltage. Then after that is a frequency changing substation. Normally in industries where high frequency heating is required, then we convert power frequency into high frequency heating frequency, and that is range from 100 Hz to 450 Hz. This is the range of heating frequency. So whatever the selection is there, according to that particular equipment is selected, and this is substation is indoor type. It is constructed inside the industry to convert power frequency into frequency of heating. It is range from 100 Hz to 450 Hz. Secondly, frequency substation also use when you convert the frequency on the range of kilohertz, megahertz. So they are the electronic based component. Their oscillators are there, and they are mostly for audio system transmission, that is radio stations and TV stations. So these are the frequency required, audio and video frequency. So there is also converting substations are used for converting this frequency into audio frequency and video frequency. Then booster substation. The booster substation are the part of traction substation or traction system. After each 8 kilometer distance along the track, we construct a booster substation. And booster substation, it takes supply from the same catenary wire and it is supplied to the main wire again. So whatever voltage drop takes place in distance of 8 kilometer, that small voltage delta V, it is converted, it is transformed from main wire 25 kV input and given to the booster transformer, and booster transformer boost up that voltage to whatever voltage drop or required voltage for the maintaining 25 kV along the catenary wire. So they are booster substation. They are basically very small transformer kept on a single pole along the track. अगर आप ट्रेन से जाएं तो कभी भी वॉच करना, बीच बीच में एक एक छोटा ट्रांसफार्मर लगा रहता है एक सिंगल पोल पे. दे आर अ बूस्टर ट्रांसफार्मर और booster substation. The last one is the converter substation. They are part of the substation of HVDC system, that is converter substation. This converter substation convert AC into DC. This converter substation convert AC into DC. So we required in HVDC system, generation takes place on 19 kV, 23 kV, 25 kV. Then it is step up by transformation with the help of transformer. Transformer operate only on AC, so that voltage is step up to from the station transformer. It is range up to 400 kV. Then 400 kV convert into DC by the terminal substation known as converter substation, which are use the power thyristors from which AC converted into DC, and DC 500 kV then it is transmitted for the long distance. So DC transmission in detail you will study in power system. So this DC substation which convert AC into DC, it is called converter substation. So this is the basics of the theory of all type of substations, which are classified on the basis of construction and on the basis of application. So there is a different ratings are there, different construction standards are there. So in our course of this fifth topic, we will discuss only pole mounted substation. So the pole mounted substation, I will take the theory of this, whatever type of equipments required for that, transformer rating of the equipments, construction design, drawing and specification, that I will take in the next period. So today I am only concentrate over the types of substation. So there is a question in the exam, define substation and write down the classification of substation. So substation classification, as I have given, directly you can read it and you can write it. Okay, so this is all about substation theory, that is definition part and classification part. Now according to estimating costing, we will prepare the estimate mostly for pole mounted substation. This is in our course. Other substation, they are very big substation. The possibility of preparing estimate is very remote because they require very large time, large equipment, large design, large specification. So all these three, indoor, outdoor and foundation mounted substation, they are normally not taken into account for estimating costing. Only if this foundation mounted substation somewhere used in the multi-storied building supply. If you have seen multi-storied building, then on the foundation they keep the transformer, and from that they will step down to 400 volt and then given to different flats by distribution channel. In our college also we have foundation mounted substation, because transformer is mounted on a foundation of brick and supply is coming to that, and then it is given to the LT distribution box, and from where our all four building of the college are supplied from that distribution box. So foundation mounted may be discussed, but maximum in primary distribution system and secondary distribution system, the pole mounted substation are most popular. So whatever estimate I will take, it is for secondary distribution system, that will take the pole mounted substation, its specification, type of material required, type of different equipment required for this, and rating of the transformer, Normally pole mounted substation, it is constructed up to 500 kVA nowadays. Before that its range was 375 kVA. Now it is increased to 500 kVA, and voltage we are select both, either 11 by 0.4 kV or 33 by 0.4 kV, depending upon the input line available. So and power demand also, because 33 kV will carry naturally more power compared to 11 kV. So this will take, I will take the pole mounted substation estimate. Next time I will first draw the diagram, then write down the list of material, and according to that diagram you can prepare easily the estimate. So in pole mounted substation it is divided into three categories. First category is that whatever hardware required, for that it is on third number. Second number, whatever is equipment required for the substation, pole mounted substation, the list of equipments, and list of structure. So structure, equipment and hardware, these are the three parts in which the estimate of pole mounted substation can be prepared. So its diagram and all details I will take in next period. Today you just listen this theory and write the notes according to what I have given to you. So read out, watch this particular video in detail, and whatever I have speak, that you write down in the types of substation. So if any doubt you can ask, but it is very simple and self-explanatory. Once again I will speak it on basis of construction: indoor substation, outdoor substation, foundation mounted substation and pole mounted substation. On the basis of application, when we classify substation, then transmission substation, distribution substation, power factor improvement substation, traction substation, frequency changing substation, booster substation and converter substation. So brief theory of each substation I have told you. Their rating and all that, it is given whenever we go for construction. But normally in transmission substation, large transformers are used in MVA capacity. In distribution substation also transformer use up to MVA capacity, but maximum up to 15 MVA. And transmission substation they go for 500 MVA. Power factor improvement substation can be installed on 33 by 11 kV by using capacitor banks. And when you construct a PF improvement substation for extra high voltage, then you have to use a synchronous motor, that is overexcited synchronous motor running at leading power factor, which feed the negative kVR in the system to improve the power factor. Then traction substation, it is supplied to traction system. Output voltage of this is 25 kV and input voltage is 132 kV. They are given with two cross arm tower, and they will be given with two phase. So two phase of 25 kV each. So on one phase it is train is operating, and in case of fault on one phase, then second phase used as a standby. Then frequency changing substation, as I have told you, it is for converting power frequency into high frequency heating, which is required in different industries for process of manufacturing. So they will do according to that. Booster substation, again it is a part of traction substation, constructed at a distance of 8 km along the track, and they are maintaining only the voltage in the catenary wire, that is required voltage is 25 kV. So when we run along the conductor, so voltage drop takes place. So whatever voltage drop takes place in delta V, it is a small voltage that can be added by booster transformer from the same conductor. Input is taken 25 kV and then it is stepped down to delta V, and that delta V again feed to the same wire. So it will take, you are maintaining the voltage along the track 25 kV. So there is no problem in operation of the train. Then last one is converter substation. As I have told you, it is for HVDC system. So when we convert AC into DC we required converter substation, and this converter substation main component of converter is the high power thyristors. They convert into the AC into DC, and there is a block diagram you will discuss converter substation in power system operation and protection. So that is a separate topic, of course, in other subject, and you will go into detail of that. So here from estimating costing point of view, we will only study preparation of estimate of pole mounted substation, and if possible we can take one problem of foundation mounted. Difference is only that the transformer is mounted on foundation instead of pole, so that is difference. Other material will be same. So this is all for today lecture. Next time I will take the pole mounted substation problem, prepare the diagram of it, and all type of equipment required, structure required, and hardware required for that, and that will then we will prepare the estimate. So this is all for today.